All right. Welcome back to another Patreon. I literally lost the sentence there. Welcome back to another Patreon request, and this one comes from Bill McLaughlin, who asked me to do a review of the Warhammer parody series, The Emperor's Speech to Text series. So, yeah. As always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link in the description box below, head on over to my Patreon, hit the second tier, that'll allow you access to do so. But other than that, hope you all enjoy this, and let's get started with the video. So, the Emperor, full thing is, what if the Emperor had a text-to-speech machine? Basically, this is arguably the best-known Warhammer parody series, and arguably of the fandom, which unfortunately GW decided to be absolute cunts about the whole thing, and forced them to cancel the series. Because GW doesn't like anyone playing with their toys. I mean, they do, but, like, not in that way. So, if you don't know what the series is, it was basically a show that followed a what-if scenario where the Custodes and the Adeptus Mechanicus got together and made a machine that allowed the Emperor to speak through, like, a thought-to-text machine. It allowed the Emperor to actually, like, communicate with them. And it was a really fun parody series that kind of devolved into something else entirely. It basically, like, just kind of devolved into just utter, absolute madness as a series. So, what did I think of the show? Now, granted, there were tons of episodes, and I think it's hilarious. I think the show, and this is going to be something I'm gonna like. It's going to make sense in a second. Basically, memes help the Warhammer community. There's so much lore. There's so much, like, background lore and books and novels that it does get confusing. It really does, like, get really hard to follow up on your lore, because then it'll be it either gets retconned or changed or it gets confusing. There's a lot that goes into this. I'm not kidding. Like, there's a lot that goes into the world of Warhammer. And these memes really help, like, condense it down. And also, like, helps you figure out where this lore comes from. And that's what kind of the Emperor series was basically like. It basically gave us, like, condensed versions of what each character is in a more parody form. Remember, this is the series that gave us, I, Cato Sicarius! And we all know Cato Sicarius as, I, Cato Sicarius! And this gave us, like, all these other just hilarious jokes. Like, one of my favorite jokes is, like, the Mechanicus needed a Custodes name. And, like, if you know the Custodes, then you know that, like, their names are, like, for go on forever. So the Custodes, like, giving his full name, it's been, like, 2 days later. And they're like, oh my god, I just needed your name. I'm like, this is my name. Stop interrupting me. And keeps going for more hours. I also love, like, some of the jokes just really hit when you know the lore. Now, there is one thing I do have a criticism with. And this is more of a criticism on parody shows to be altogether, is that sometimes I feel like the parody shows kind of take away, like, Flanderdize characters of the main lore. Perfect example of this is Dragon Ball Abridged, where in Dragon Ball Abridged, a lot of Dragon Ball Abridged basically took the series by storm, and it's hilarious. I'm not doubting that. I'm not saying it's not a bad show. What I am saying, though, is that it kind of clouded everyone's thoughts and made us, like, not remember. Like, it gaslit us into certain things. Like, it gaslit us into thinking Goku was a bad father. I mean, he is an idiot, but he's not a bad father. If you really watch the show, the original show, DBZ show, Goku is flawed, but he's not as, like, big of a dimwit as he is in or a bad father as he is in Dragon Ball Abridged. And that was kind of the thing with the Emperor series, is that there was kind of a massive Flanderization with a lot of characters, and a lot of characters know these characters and act like that's their whole person. Again, Cato Sicarius is a perfect example of, alright, Cato Sicarius. Perfect example, because everyone just assumes he's this big blowhard who constantly just runs around talking about how awesome he is, and he did, but there's more to Cato Sicarius these days than just, all right, Cato Sicarius. Same with like Marnius Calgar or Gilliman or Corvus. All of these characters, a lot of fans like get their brains mentally gaslit into thinking that these are the characters, that these are how the characters act and how they always acted. That lies the problem. But as I've said, this is not a bad show, but it also kind of helps with the fandom as a whole, where it can basically give you everything you need, like the basics of each character and what they're about. But it does Flanderize a lot of that, so you have to keep in mind this is not how these characters act, and there's more to it than what you see here. Having said all that, though, yeah, the show is pretty fucking funny. I'm not gonna lie, the show is incredibly fucking funny, and I wish it didn't get shit canned like a lot of other Warhammer fan projects are these days by GW, because you would think that like this would get, fan projects kind of prove the love of these shows, and at the same time you're just kind of taking that love and burning bridges with the fan base. Not a lot of these places make money off of these shows or fan projects. They do it for the love of the series. So, GW basically doesn't understand that and continues to burn bridges with the fan base. So yeah, while I do, but like I said, I feel like the Flanderization does kind of hurt the main franchise as a whole, but it's not like to the damage that like Dragon Ball Z Abridged has done, and it's still fucking funny. So yeah, if you haven't seen the series, I'm sure there's reloaded episodes of it somewhere on YouTube. But yeah, if you have seen the Emperor's Thought to Speech Bubble series, let me know in the comments below. And once again, I'd like to thank Bill McLaughlin for this Patreon request, as well as continued patronage. Other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in Multiverse.